I never thought I would find her alive. My wife, Nancy, was gone for 40 years. Everyone thought she was dead. I thought she was gone forever. But she was not dead. She was living in the woods. And not alone. I cannot tell you everything yet. What I saw was strange. Something big and strong lived there with her. Something the world has never seen. I was scared. I did not know what to do. I had to keep it a secret. I had to protect her. Now, I will tell the full story. You will hear everything. How she disappeared. How I found her. And how she lived all these years in the woods with that creature. This is the truth, even if it is hard to believe. My name is Henry Walker. I am 72 years old. I have lived a long life, but one thing stayed with me every day. My wife, Nancy Walker, was missing for 40 years. Everyone thought she was dead. But I knew she was alive. I live alone now, in the same town I always lived in. The forest is close to my house. I go there sometimes, remembering her. The woods are quiet and empty. Most people do not come here. That is why I could keep my secret safe. I was a simple man. I worked with my hands. I did normal things every day. I cooked, cleaned, fixed things, and walked in the woods. My life seemed normal to anyone looking from outside. But inside, I carried a secret. A secret that changed my whole life. I cannot change the past. But I can tell the truth now. I can tell the story of Nancy, the Bigfoot, and the 40 years we lived with a secret that no one would believe. Nancy and I were happy together. She was kind and gentle. She laughed a lot and loved the small things in life. We lived in a small house near the forest. I worked with my hands. She helped in the garden and cooked meals for us. We did simple things every day. We walked in the woods, picked berries, and talked about small dreams. She liked to watch the birds and the squirrels. I liked to listen to her laugh. Our life was quiet, simple, and peaceful. People around us thought we were normal. But we had our own little world. A world of love and trust. We did not need much. A small house, warm fire, and each other were enough. Sometimes Nancy went into the woods to collect plants or check the animals. She liked being close to nature. She was brave but careful. I never thought anything bad could happen. I never thought she could disappear. Looking back, those days feel safe and simple. We had no idea our life was about to change. I did not know that she would be gone for 40 years. I did not know that I would carry a secret for all that time. But those days taught me love, patience, and hope. It was a quiet morning. The sun was just rising, and the forest was full of birds singing. Nancy said she wanted to walk in the woods. She wanted to collect some herbs and watch the deer. I told her to be careful. She smiled and promised she would come back soon. I watched her walk into the trees. Her hair shone in the sunlight, and she looked happy. I thought I would see her again in a few hours. But I was wrong. Hours passed. I waited at home. The sun went down. She did not come back. I called her name in the woods. I ran along the paths she liked. Nothing. Only the sound of the wind and the birds answered me. I went to the neighbors. I asked everyone. Did anyone see her? No one had. Panic grew inside me. I called the police. Search teams came. They checked the forest, the river, and the hills. They looked everywhere. But they found nothing. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. I stayed awake at night, hoping she would come back. I refused to believe she was gone forever. My heart told me she was still alive. But how could she survive? Where could she be? That day changed my life. From that morning, nothing was the same. I carried a heavy sadness in my heart. I learned what fear and hope could feel like at the same time. I never stopped thinking about her. I never stopped waiting. The years passed slowly. I waited for Nancy every day. 40 years felt like a lifetime. I grew older. My hair turned gray. My back became stiff. But my heart never stopped hoping. People told me to move on. She's gone, they said. Forget her and live your life. I could not. I could not forget her. I could not stop thinking about her smile, her voice, the way she held my hand. I searched the forest many times. I walked the paths she liked. I listened to the birds and the wind, hoping for a sign. Sometimes I thought I heard her laugh or saw a shadow of her moving. But it was never her. I lived a quiet life. I worked with my hands, cooked my meals, and fixed small things around the house. To the world, I was just a lonely old man. But inside, I carried a secret hope that Nancy was still alive somewhere. Friends grew old or left. I was alone with my thoughts. I kept her memory alive every day. 40 years taught me patience. 40 years taught me pain. But also hope. Hope that one day I might see her again. Even after all this time, I could not let go. My love for Nancy was stronger than the years, stronger than fear. I never gave up on her. I waited, and I knew somehow I would find her. One day, while walking in the forest, I saw something strange. There were big footprints in the soft mud. They were much larger than a human's. I stopped. My heart beat fast. Could it be her? Or something else? The next day, I heard noises at night. Soft, heavy sounds like something walking slowly between the trees. I listened carefully, holding my breath. It sounded alive. It sounded intelligent. Not an animal. Sometimes I found broken branches and moved rocks. It looked like something had passed through the forest carefully, leaving signs behind. I felt watched. My skin crawled. But inside I felt hope. Hope that Nancy was still out there. I also noticed small signs of a fire or food left in hidden places. It was too organized for an animal. Someone or something was living here. I thought of her. Could Nancy have survived in the woods all this time? I was scared. I did not know what to do. Should I go closer? Should I leave? My love for her pushed me forward. My fear held me back. I moved slowly, quietly, trying not to scare whatever was out there. Each hint made me more certain. Nancy was alive. Something was protecting her. Something big. Something strong. But what? And how? I did not know the answers yet. But these small signs kept me going. They kept me searching. They told me to keep hope alive. They told me that the next time, maybe, I would finally see her. I decided to go back to the forest. It had been many years since I last walked there. My legs were slower. My hands shook. But my heart told me I had to try. I had to find Nancy. The forest was quiet. The trees were tall, and the sun barely shone through the leaves. The wind whispered, and the birds were silent. It felt different, strange. I felt watched. I followed the paths I knew, paths Nancy liked. I looked for footprints. I looked for broken branches. My eyes searched every shadow. I called her name softly, Nancy. My voice sounded small in the big forest. Hours passed. I saw nothing at first, but then I noticed more signs. Footprints too big for a person. Small piles of food hidden under rocks. A branch bent down as if someone had passed carefully. My heart raced. Something was living here. Something was watching me, and it was protecting her. I felt fear, but also hope. I knew I was close. My mind wondered, is she really alive? Can I see her after all these years? I stopped many times. I listened. I breathed slowly. The forest felt alive. Every sound was a message. I was not alone. I felt a presence. Something big, strong, and careful. I took a deep breath. I stepped forward, slowly, carefully, ready for whatever I would find. My whole life had led me to this moment. After 40 years, I was about to see Nancy. I stopped suddenly. There, in the clearing, I saw it. A huge creature, taller than any man I had ever seen. Its fur was dark with gray streaks. Its eyes were calm, but I could see intelligence in them. I froze. My heart was beating fast. My hands shook. I wanted to run, but something told me to stay. The creature did not move quickly. It watched me. It was not angry. It was not aggressive. Then I saw Nancy. She was standing a few steps behind the creature. Alive, safe. My knees felt weak. I could not believe it. I whispered her name, Nancy. The Bigfoot stepped aside. It did not attack. It did not growl. It was calm. It looked at me, then back at Nancy. I realized it was protecting her. It was her guardian, not a threat. Nancy looked at me with her familiar eyes. Her hair was a little gray now, but it was still her. She smiled softly. I could see relief, love, and trust in her face. I wanted to run to her, but I knew I had to be careful. I had to respect the creature too. It had kept her safe for 40 years. I slowly stepped forward, hands open, showing I meant no harm. My heart was full of shock, fear, and happiness all at once. The creature let me move closer. Nancy reached for my hand. I felt her warmth, her presence. After 40 years, she was alive and she was safe. I understood then. This forest, this creature, and this secret had kept her alive. It was real, and it was beautiful. I could not believe my eyes. There she was, Nancy, alive after 40 years. My heart pounded so fast I thought it might break. She looked older, but she was still the woman I loved. Her hair had some gray, but her smile was the same. She stepped closer slowly. Her eyes were full of surprise, relief, and a little fear. "Henry?" she whispered. I could barely speak. I only nodded and took a small step toward her. The Bigfoot stayed behind her. It watched me carefully, but it did not move to attack. I realized it had been keeping her safe all these years. It was calm, intelligent, and protective. My fear slowly turned to awe. Nancy told me a little with her eyes and hands. She had lived with the creature in a cave deep in the forest. It gave her protection. It helped her survive. She never left because she feared what the world might do to it. I wanted to hug her, but I stopped. I had to respect her life there. 40 years alone in the woods had changed her. But inside, she was still Nancy. I could see her love and trust shining. We slowly spoke. She told me about small things, how she found water, how she moved quietly, how the Bigfoot watched over her. I listened in silence, amazed. 40 years of stories, pain, survival, and love, all held in her quiet voice. My heart was full. Shock, fear, joy, and relief mixed inside me. I realized then that the world would not believe this, but I did not care. Nancy was alive. She was safe. And after 40 years, I had found her. I looked at the Bigfoot. Its eyes were calm, almost like it understood. It had been her guardian for decades. I nodded slowly, understanding its role. It was not a monster. It was part of her life, part of her survival. I knew then that my life had changed forever. I had found Nancy, and I had seen something incredible. The forest, the Bigfoot, and my wife's courage had kept her alive for 40 years. Nancy had lived in the forest for 40 years. She showed me her home, a cave hidden deep in the trees. The walls were stone, cold and rough, but safe. The floor was covered with leaves and soft moss. Small fires burned sometimes for warmth. The Bigfoot was huge, 8 to 10 feet tall. Its dark fur had gray streaks. Its eyes were calm and intelligent. It moved slowly and carefully. It did not speak, but it understood Nancy and me. It protected her, and now it watched me too. Nancy explained how she survived. She gathered berries, roots, and fresh water from the streams. The Bigfoot helped her carry things and kept her safe from wild animals. It had been kind, careful, and patient all these years. I watched them together. Nancy laughed softly sometimes, and the Bigfoot seemed to notice. It would tilt its head or touch her gently. I realized it was more than a creature. It had feelings. It was her companion. I learned their daily routines. Mornings were quiet, with Nancy collecting food. Afternoons were for exploring the forest carefully. Nights were for rest, near the small fire, safe in the cave. I helped where I could. I carried water, repaired small things, and spoke quietly to Nancy. She smiled at me, happy to see me alive. The Bigfoot watched, calm, never aggressive. After 40 years, I finally understood the life Nancy had built. It was hard, simple, and safe. The Bigfoot had kept her alive. It had been her guardian and friend. I felt respect and awe. I had never imagined that something so big and wild could be gentle and intelligent. My heart was full of emotion, relief, love, and wonder. I realized that love does not always look the way we expect. Sometimes it is quiet, protective, and hidden in the forest. I was lucky to see it. 40 years of courage, survival, and trust had brought Nancy and me back together. I wanted to take Nancy home. I wanted to hug her, cook for her, and live together again. I wanted to end the 40 years of pain and waiting. But I could not. Nancy looked at me with her calm eyes. She shook her head gently. She did not want to leave. She had lived with the Bigfoot for 40 years. The forest and the creature had kept her safe. She knew the world would not understand. People might hurt the Bigfoot. She might even be taken away. I felt torn. My love told me to bring her back. My respect for her choice told me to stay silent. I did not want to hurt her. I did not want to risk the life of the Bigfoot. I had waited 40 years for her, but I had to consider her life too. I thought of all the years she survived alone. I thought of the trust she had in the Bigfoot. I realized I could not take that away. My love for Nancy meant keeping her safe. Even if it meant leaving her in the woods, my hands shook. My heart ached. 40 years of hope, grief, and love pressed on me. I understood then that true love is not just about being together. It is about protecting the person you love, even if it is hard. I nodded slowly to Nancy. I would respect her choice. I would leave her with the Bigfoot. It was the right thing. It was the only thing I could do. My love for her meant letting her live the life she had chosen, safe and free. The forest was not always safe. Sometimes people came near. Rangers, hikers, and even helicopters flew above. I could hear them sometimes, far away, searching. My heart beat fast. Nancy stayed quiet. The Bigfoot watched carefully. It moved slowly and silently, keeping her hidden. I followed her lead. We avoided paths where people might see us. Every sound made me jump. Every shadow made me freeze. Once, a small group of hikers passed nearby. I held Nancy's hand. We stayed behind rocks. The Bigfoot crouched low, almost like it disappeared. We did not move. They never saw us. Another time, a camera trap was set near the river. We waited until it was safe. The Bigfoot touched Nancy gently, as if to say, "Do not worry." Every close call reminded me of the danger. 40 years of hiding were not easy. One mistake, and Nancy or the Bigfoot could be exposed. But we survived. We stayed careful. We stayed hidden. I realized then that love and protection sometimes mean fear and caution. Every day we stayed alive together, safe in the forest, was a victory. Nancy looked at me with calm eyes. She smiled softly. "Henry," she whispered, "I cannot leave. I am safe here. I belong here." I wanted to cry. I wanted to hug her and take her home. But I knew she was right. The Bigfoot had kept her alive for 40 years. The forest had kept her safe. If I took her away, I might destroy everything. I nodded slowly. I understand, I said. My voice shook. My heart ached. I had waited 40 years to find her, but now I had to let her stay. True love was not just about being together. It was about keeping her safe. Even if it hurt me. We held hands briefly. I felt her warmth, her presence. Then I stepped back. The Bigfoot moved closer to Nancy. It was quiet, calm, protective. I watched them together, knowing I could not interfere. I turned and walked away slowly. I whispered, "Be safe, Nancy. I will always love you." She nodded. Her eyes were full of trust. That day I learned that love is sometimes letting go. It is about respect, protection, and understanding. 40 years of waiting had led to this moment. Bittersweet, but full of truth. Now, I am old. My hair is gray. My hands shake. My back hurts. But my heart remembers everything. I remember Nancy. I remember the Bigfoot. I remember the forest and the quiet years we shared. I tell this story now because I have to. People may not believe me. They may laugh or think I am crazy. That is okay. I do not need them to understand. What matters is the truth. Nancy is alive. She chose her life in the forest. The Bigfoot kept her safe. I helped her, but I did not take her away. I protected her secret, just like she wanted. 40 years of waiting, searching, and loving taught me many things. Love is patient. Love is quiet. Love is sometimes letting go. I never stopped caring for Nancy, even when I could not see her. Now I am here, alone, telling my story. I do not need proof. I do not need approval. I only need to share the truth. I hope someone someday will understand. I hope they will see that love can be strong, even when it is hidden, quiet, and protected for 40 years. Now I am old and alone. The forest is quiet. The birds sing, the wind blows, and I remember everything. Nancy is alive. She is safe. The Bigfoot keeps her safe. I do not feel regret. I did what I had to do. I waited 40 years. I searched. I protected the secret. I kept her alive in my heart and in the forest. Love is not always holding someone close. Sometimes love is letting them live the life they need. Sometimes love is quiet and hidden. I think of Nancy every day. I think of the forest, the Bigfoot, and the years that passed. I smile softly. I know I did the right thing. I know she is happy. My story may never be believed, but the truth is real, and that is enough for me.